KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning. Me neither.
Tonight at 6 o'clock, I'll be speaking at the Mecca Restaurant, 5815 Live Oak Street. That's the northeast corner of Skillman and Live Oak Street in Lakewood. The occasion is the College of Complexes. I don't know if you know Tom Berry. You know Tom Berry?
I'm not sure if I do or not. I may by sight.
You know him if you saw him. He always wears a cowboy hat. Tom Berry has a weekly forum. It's called a Weekly Free Speech Forum. And for some reason, the slogan is one fool at a time. So I am the fool tonight at the College of Complexes at 6 o'clock at the Mecca Restaurant, 5815 Live Oak Street. The reason they want to talk to me is because I'm the president of the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans. And believe me, brothers and sisters, the right to retire is in a lot of trouble in the United States. So I'm getting a lot of opportunities to speak.
That's good.
But I'm having to tell people really, really bad news. I wish I could go and say, the right to retire is safe and you can look forward to your golden years. But I'm telling them something quite the opposite, I'm
Absolutely.
afraid.
I mean, look at me. I'm 55 years old, and I'm being forced, really, to retire.
Forced to retire.
Forced to retire. My company is outsourcing my job.
It'd be all right if they give you a good retirement package.
Well, and I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay. Except I'm not Medicare eligible, so I'm not so sure what's going to happen on the insurance side of
the Alliance for Retired Americans would like to lower the eligibility rate for Medicare down to 55, and we think that would only be fair.
Absolutely.
However, what they're talking about is raising it, and right now it's 65, and they want to raise it up to 67.
Good God.
So it's pretty bad. It's a bad outlook. I spoke at the First Unitarian Church a couple of nights ago, and there were 11 speakers representing different problems and different aspects of problems. For example, there was a very effective speaker talking about fracking. The city of Dallas has decided that it's okay to drill in the city limits, or that they're going to review their position.
Trinity River floodplain. Yeah, that's a great idea.
And some of the particular places that they picked are pretty bad. Yeah. And also there's a little Trojan horse in that too. One of the places where they're going to supposedly get a drilling permit is not really drilling; it's really a reprocessing center, and it would become one of the 10 worst pollutants in Dallas County if it goes through. So. Anyway, there's that guy who spoke. There was a guy representing Muslims and talking about how people are getting arrested right and left and it really didn't do anything. Like the Holy Land Five, for example, they're all in prison, and their big crime, as you know, was for raising money to feed poor children. So it was just, there were 11 of us, and when I got the chance to speak, I said, things are very bad for retirees, and then I thought, wait a minute. Things are really bad for everybody that's gotten up here. Nobody has gotten up here with any good news. Things are going to pot all around us, and we have to figure out why and what to do about it. But here's a little bit of labor news, things that are happening now among labor, and that's really our main point here on the Workers' Beat. That's right. The Communication Workers of America is spearheading a fight to fix the Senate now. They are for a majority vote in the Senate. The way it is right now, a minority of the Senate can hold up, for example, presidential appointments. The president's trying to appoint people to do jobs in the government, and
to actually run the
I think
joint.
one senator can hold that up.
Yep.
And a minority can hold up almost anything. So trying to get the Senate to go back to a majority vote is labor's cause now. Absolutely. I'm proud to say that my union, UAW, is in on this too.
Good.
And of course I get a lot of news from the communication workers. There's just a week to go at the American Airlines voting.
The 15th, right? That's Tuesday.
So we'll know
by the end of
later
the
on
week.
next week.
Yep. Then
how things are going to go for the airlines, the gate agents that are voting. I think it's like 10,000 of them or so.
I think there's a lot.
May end up with a union, and of
Yep.
course may not. You have these things, government supervised elections. It's very, very touchy because the company has a whole lot of influence. It's very, very dangerous.
Yep.
Now on Saturday, January the 19th, Rick Levy is going to speak. You like Rick Levy?
I love Rick Levy.
He is the
bomb.
He is the most erudite and most, that means smart.
Yes,
but he is the smartest guy in the labor movement.
And entertaining. He makes, he doesn't always have good news for us.
No.
But he does he delivers it very well.
He's the lawyer for the Texas AFL-CIO.
Yes.
And of course he's one of the most beloved staffers there because we have to listen to a lot of speeches in the labor movement, and Rick Levy does good ones.
Yes.
Anyway, he will speak on Saturday, January the 19th, 2013 at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Capitol steps. I don't mean Rick Levy's going to speak for 3 hours, but that's how long the rally is.
Okay.
Texas Capitol steps in Austin. They are opposing the Supreme Court decision known as Citizens United. It was the Supreme Court's who decided that the corporations could buy the election process if they would like to. It said that corporations are people, that they have more rights than other people because they got more money. So the Citizens United decision of the Supreme Court was one of the major setbacks to people's rights in America, and it was done by the Supreme Court that we have right now.
Yeah.
I sure hope President Obama gets to make some appointments.
I think he's got one coming up within the next year.
Yeah, well, he'll have a hard time getting it through the Senate, no matter who he appoints.
Well, that's true.
Because of the way the Senate is stacked right now. So Rick Levy on January the 19th, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. One last little labor news point is that 120,000 Texans managed to keep their unemployment after the first of the year. Because President Obama signed the so-called fiscal cliff law. I don't remember what they call it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the immediate consequences for Texas was that 120,000 Texans who were unemployed and chronically unemployed will be able to draw unemployment on into 2013.
Thank God.
Thank goodness.
That's scary.
This problem about the fiscal cliff, I hate calling it that because that's giving ground, because that's what they call it.
Yeah.
That's what our enemies call it. I usually call it fiscal negotiations, but it's not over. That's the saddest news of all.
They just pushed it down the road.
The Republicans are talking tough. They are saying that they're going to hold up the government, and they've got several opportunities to do it over the next couple of months. The debt ceiling comes up in February. They've already exceeded the debt ceiling. They already exceeded it on the 1st of January, but they're juggling the books right now, so it's not chronic. The government right now can still pay its bills. And if the Republicans have anything to say about it, they will either get the cuts that they want, especially cuts in Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, or they will just stop the government because they say they can do it. Other people say that
the 14th Amendment.
Yeah. Can you explain that?
Well, the 14th Amendment says that the president has the final say, and all he has to do is invoke the 14th Amendment, where the government cannot stop working. That's what the 14th Amendment says. The government cannot stop working. So if he invokes the 14th Amendment, things keep rocking along. The debt ceiling is raised and we keep moving.
So the Republicans in the House then would not be able to stop the government. But they say they can. They say they will if they don't get all the cuts that they want to get. And there's several other opportunities that they have to hold the government for ransom. The continuing resolution, which funds the government, that expires in late March. And then, of course, we have the 2014 budget debate. So they have several opportunities to hold the government for ransom. They've done it before.
Oh, yeah.
They've been doing it ever since President Obama got elected. So we can expect more fireworks on this. They are saying that they have to have a bunch of cuts. Now, they do not want to cut the military.
There you go.
They make it very clear they do not want to cut the military.
Yeah.
And see, that's still hanging over our heads, too, because the sequester, which was set up by the Republicans back in 2011, is still in effect. The decision that they made on the 1st of January was just to put that off for 2 months.
Yeah, kick
so that
it
would
down
make
the
it
road.
the 1st of March.
There you go.
And the 1st of March, that's supposed to happen. And that's, I think, something like a 6% cut of all government programs. Now,
Yes,
nobody
across
wants
the
to do
board.
it. The Democrats and Republicans both don't want to do it.
Right.
But they voted for it back in 2011 just because the Republicans said that they wouldn't let the debt ceiling go up if they couldn't get that. So they got it, and now nobody wants it.
Oh, no.
And that's supposed to happen on the 1st of March. And that would be a lot of cuts to all government programs except Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid,
Right.
which were left out of it.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Thank
so
goodness.
retirees are not that worried about the sequester,
No, but
everybody else is.
everybody else is, sure, because it doesn't include unemployment benefits.
Well, it would include all government.
All government,
all
that's
federal
right.
government payment. Now, most
So-
unemployment benefits come from states, so I'm
That's
not
true.
sure that it would hit them that hard.
May not.
But it would certainly hit food stamps. That's a federal government program.
Right. WIC.
And
Yeah.
the reason that they don't like it, though, is because it hits the military. See, the military is about half of the budget.
The military-industrial complex
Yeah.
is at least half of the budget.
So if you cut 6%, then the military is going to take a 6% cut, and that would hit North Texas
Very
because
hard.
there's
It
a
would.
lot of military production here, including
Yes,
my
there is.
union.
That's right.
That wants to see more military production to keep people working, and so we're going to have a problem with that one. But
I really wish that we could look at taking these huge factories like the ones that we have all over North Texas and converting them to factories for sustainable living.
yeah, you know what you could do? You could build aluminum trains. You could have train service to Houston,
In no time.
bullet train.
Yeah.
You could have a 100-mile-an-hour train running to Houston with the kind of technology that they have in the aerospace industry.
Right.
And we need that.
Right, we do.
Then we wouldn't have to argue over the military all the time because
Right,
people would still have
exactly.
jobs and they'd be making something that somebody
That's
might want and
worthwhile.
somebody might be able to use.
Exactly.
We haven't been very responsible in the past.
No.
972-647-1893 is our number. We encourage you to call. We actually love it when you call.
We do.
It wakes up our sleeping brains to get your point of view. 972-647-1893.
Gene, we have some news. CWA, local CWA. Okay, this is for AT&T core employees. Okay, that's the old the telephone company, if you will, the old core contract. We have a tentative agreement for the 5 states: Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and Texas. This affects about 22,000 employees, I believe, 4,000 employees, 5,000 employees right here in Dallas. Folks, you need to get to the Union Hall, whichever local you're in. If you're in Dallas or Fort Worth, get to your contract explanation meetings. We will have our meeting 6215 at 1408 North Washington. Monday morning at 10 a.m. will be the first explanation meeting. Glenn Stanley, who's the chair of the bargaining team, will be there for the explanation meeting. We have another one at 6:30. Folks, this is important. This is the next 4 years of your life. And you need to come and listen about this because it's your decision. It's your decision whether or not to accept this.
A lot of people don't realize that union members vote on their contracts.
That's right. That's right.
You get a chance, if you're a union member, you get a chance to say yay or nay to whatever they've negotiated.
Yeah, us big union bosses, we don't get that. We just get a vote just like everybody else.
All right.
So-
let's hear what Tony has to say. I mean, Larry has to say.
Larry, yeah.
Bring Larry up first because he was first calling. Good morning, Larry. Thanks for calling KNON.
Hey, enjoying the show.
Good.
got a question for you on the military bases. I think the U.S. has 850, 900 bases scattered across the world. I'm curious as to how many bases Germany or Russia or China or Australia has scattered around the world. And my point is, why do we need that many bases? And I'm pretty sure that nobody else has that many bases scattered around the world.
Okay.
All right, it's a good point, Larry.
Good question, Larry. It is.
Take it, Bonnie. That's a hard one,
Thanks,
so you
G.
take it.
I don't know how many bases there are in the world.
Well,
I know.
yeah, if you can find out, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll
that's
have
the
to.
starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to put anybody out of a job.
Well,
I would
absolutely.
just like to see some changes made in the way we do business.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and if we have that many bases scattered around the world, and a bunch of them are probably somewhere that we have no business being, and
well, that's a matter of opinion, of course.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
the guys in Germany. I mean, we have a couple of bases in Germany that have been there since World War I.
oh yeah,
So
yeah,
World War II. Sorry,
there's certain bases that should be, but I'm sure there's some in South America and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
and actually you could bring the troops back home and reopen some of the bases that they have closed here, and I have a feeling we can protect our borders right here in the United States.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Larry,
Thank
for
you,
that
Larry.
point.
Okay.
Let's move on to Tony because it's almost break time. I want to let Tony talk. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. How you doing?
Thanks for calling, brother.
Yes, I wanted to mention, to piggyback what you were saying earlier, I think the American people don't understand certain things, and that is the policies, domestic and foreign policies are set by corporations. And when they set these policies, it affects the American worker.
Mm-hmm.
And, and what they've done is they have aligned, my corporations have aligned businesses, mom and pop businesses, with corporations. So anything that is anti-business, we look at, okay, it's a corporation, but mom and pops are one of the very few who are affected, who are mostly affected by a lot of the regulations that's geared towards corporations. And a lot of times we hear the word regulation, it's like we're restricting commerce, we're restricting capitalism. And the reality is that when you have the power in the hands of a very few, and they control the thinking of the masses, that's how you get the unemployment rate we have now. Americans are making too much money. And these are corporate elites saying this. These are the people in the high places saying, I'm tired of paying these wages to the American people. So what we're going to do is create this system where the money goes to countries that have a low pay rates, like China or Taiwan or wherever. And the American people sit up here and suck it up and say, okay, we need to release the regulation for corporations who want to poison us with poisonous food, who want to poison us with all this toxic fumes, and then when we want to sue them, they say, well, we must regulate the common man from suing us for millions of dollars and pay him $20,000, and we go on with business. And I think that the American people, we sit up here disillusioned that, okay, hello?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you're
Yeah,
on,
you're on.
All right.
but they're hurrying us.
They're rushing us.
Well, I'll leave you with that. I just wanted to add that to the conversation.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks, Tony.
Tony.
We want to
Thank
take
you.
this up again as soon as we get through this break. Be right back.
Something seemed kind of strange. My buddy Joe.
Tune in every Saturday morning for KNON Speak Up Saturdays. Speak Up Saturday starts at 7 a.m. with an expanded church information and forum hosted by Reverend Marion Barnett, a news and politics show for you. Then at 9 a.m., it's the Workers' Beat hosted by Gene Lantz, sponsored by the CWA, a show for workers' rights. At 10 a.m., the Dallas Observer presents Jim Shoots. Get off my lawn with the other side of the news. Wrapping up Speak Up Saturdays at 11 a.m. is Lambda Weekly with David Taffet, the longest-running LGBTQ talk show in the country. Be sure to tune in every Saturday morning to Speak Up Saturdays right here on KNON 89.3 FM, the voice of the people.
Hey, baby. Sonny Bryan's Catering presents the 14th annual KNON Blues Festival on Saturday, January 26th and Sunday, January 27th at Poor David's Pub. Join us for the biggest blues event of the year, starring the Royal Rhythmaires, Bobby Patterson, Blues Boy Bo, the Aaron Burton Band, Andrew Jr. Boy Jones featuring Carrie LaPie, Pete Barbeck and Seven Son, Bonafide Blues, the Deep Ellum Rhythm Kings, the Dallas Blues All-Stars featuring Hash Brown and Mike Morgan, the KNON Blues Review with J-Back, Sonny Boy Mark, Blue Lisa, and Jeff Stone, Big Charles Young, the Drew Lane Band with special guest Sir Loin, and the Super Kings. This is the big one. You never know who's going to show up as a special guest. Don't miss out on this huge blues show. Advance tickets are only $15 and are available now at knon.org, Bills Records in Dallas, and Forever Young in Grand Prairie. See you at the 14th annual KNON Blues Festival presented by Sonny Bryan's Catering.
Hey, baby. Blue Monday, I hate Blue Monday.
Yeah, we do hate Blue Monday. Now we're on Saturdays. We used to be on Mondays. 972-647-1893 is the number, and we had some hot calls, didn't we, Bonnie?
And you know what? We found out, thank you, Clint.
Guy asked how many bases America had around the world.
There are 737 official United States military bases, but we have more bases where we actually share them with the RAF in Great Britain or in the United Kingdom. Or
those aren't the ones that scare me. The ones that scare me is those bases that they have in the Middle East where people go and get tortured.
Yeah. And nobody knows
so we
about
don't know. We don't know how many of those there might be.
And you know what?
So
I don't really
the big question, though, really that he asked, he wasn't really interested in numbers. What he wanted to know was why. And I think that Tony, who was on after him, he was saying that the American corporations are running things.
Yeah.
So the question is, why do we have bases all over the world? And the answer is we don't.
We don't.
Me and you and Bonnie and Larry, who called, and Tony, we don't have bases all over the world. But the American corporations do.
That's right.
So they say we're protecting our interests, and we keep wondering, what interest do we have? What was our interest in, for example, Afghanistan, or
in Iraq.
And
our interest was
we didn't
oil.
have no interest there, but Exxon did.
Oh, yeah.
So the American corporations, they have a lot of interest around the world, and ever since World War II, when the United States was really the only victor. Don't forget that the United States was the only victorious country. You could say England won too, but they won, but they were squashed flat.
Yeah.
They couldn't make a car. They couldn't even make cigarette lighters at the end of World War II. All the cigarette lighters in the world were coming from the United States because we were the only ones that could make anything.
That's right.
Because everybody else had been bombed flat. And so the United States dominated the world. The United States corporations dominates United States politics. And so they wanted bases all over the world, and they got them.
They got them.
And the rest of the world might not have wanted American military bases.
I mean,
but they either got them
That's right.
because they wanted them, or they got them whether they wanted them or not.
Because we wanted them.
Wait a minute,
the United States government wanted them, or the cover.
Let's back up.
The corporations wanted them.
We is the most dangerous word in the English language.
Because it's not me.
Because it ain't us.
I didn't do it.
We are defending our interests. We had to kill all those people over. We have operated all these predator drones. Don't that horrify you when you read about those predator zones?
It's Randy. Come on.
We ain't got no predator zones. Those belong to the corporations.
That's right.
Let's see what Randy says. He might disagree. Good morning, Randy. Thanks for calling.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
Glad to hear from you.
Everybody in America who pay taxes have those bases. You know the commercial they used to put on about how your dollar bill that you bought a joint with goes to buy a bullet to knock off a political person in another country.
You talking about a joint of marijuana?
Yeah, remember those commercials they put on TV?
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Y'all older than me.
Well, that's why.
That must be it.
No, mate, we were just paying attention, Gene.
Yeah, I do remember those.
Hey, it's the same thing. Your tax dollar goes to the same thing. Even though you don't support it, it's still putting that dollar into the base.
Yep.
Now, here's the explanation why they do that. That's the United States form of colonialism. Before England, they just had to send out merchants, and unless there was an uprising, they didn't have a military base. But now they have to establish the military base first because they know they're going to be an uprising when the corporate people show up to rape the land. So that's how it works now. That's the form of colonialism through the United States. But my real question was, they're saying that everything's on the table, that this budget thing has got to cut this and cut that. And my question is, the federal government, our tax dollars, pays the congressmen and the senators every month, right?
Yep.
They get a paycheck from our tax dollars.
They sure do.
What area is that? Is that in defense? It is in what department is it? Because I want to know. I want to make sure that is part of everything's on the table, as well as cutting Medicaid or Social Security for a kid whose parent got caved in on a ditch. Those kind of things that are on the table. What the category that their pay is under, so I can recognize that that's on the category. Do you know that?
I don't, but I'd sure like to know that because I'm with you. I'll bet if we paid our legislators, our congresspeople in Washington, I'll bet if they were making minimum wage with no benefits, you know what? I'll bet we'd get a lot more work out of them.
Well, I don't even think it'd have to go that far, Bonnie. I think if we just knock $1,000 off of each of them's pay, they'd start squawking enough to something.
Oh, I think we need to knock more than $1,000. I mean, they make $187,000 a year.
Well, I'm just saying, but even if we was able to convince that in the budget they should stop giving themselves a raise every year, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree. I absolutely agree.
So, is there anybody out there that's listening today that can call in and tell us what department their pay is under and their socialized medicine is under, so we make sure that that's on the table also?
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's ask people to call us if they know. 972-647-1893. Thanks so much, Randy.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. If you want to weigh in on this, how many bases do the United States have and why do they have them? The number is 972-647-1893. The topic, Bonnie, that I was hoping to bring up, I was getting, I got a list.
I know.
And I was trying to get down to it. Is the Texas legislature.
Oh, Lord.
Tremble in fear, Texas. Your legislature is in session. They have been meeting like this every 2 years for it's 140 days or something like that.
Something stupid.
It's 140 days every 2 years. And now all of us in labor agree that it really should be
every
2
year.
Days every 140 years. Because they don't do nothing good.
I like that.
All they want to do is cut. They gave themselves a nice raise. They gave themselves a 10% raise for their little office staffs and stuff like that.
Yep.
But they have got the knives out for everybody else. They say they're going to cut taxes, and you know what they mean when they say cut taxes. They don't mean they're going to cut your taxes.
No, not yours.
They're going to cut
not
business
ours.
taxes.
Yeah.
They're going to
exactly
cut business
right.
taxes
That's
under the trickle-down theory. The theory that Texas operates under and has always operated under for the last, 20, 25 years is that if you give money to the rich people, it will make the poor people happy. So they are planning to hand out some more money to the very, very rich, and we are supposed to be joyous.
It's
about
not
it.
working.
Now that's the theory, nevertheless.
Well, these guys. The theory is just. I mean, this is insane.
My question is for all of you radio listeners, what's going to happen in the Texas legislature of 2013?
Wow.
972-647-1893. We already know some of what's going to happen because they already say that they are not going to replace any of the $5.5 billion that they stole from Texas school children in the last session.
And that
the schools are going to continue to be packed. They're going to continue to undermine public education, and then they're going to continue to hand out money to private education in order to help them undermine public education.
Because they want to go back. They want to go to this bloody voucher system.
They're going to cut the teachers. They're going to they're going to raise the classroom sizes.
Yep.
Cut the hours and all the things that the children need. and they are going to hand out money to the private schools and stuff like that, and say, well, public schools are not working. They're not working because they ain't
keep
getting no
taking money away.
Let's see if Gabriel has any answers for us. Thanks for calling KNON, Gabriel.
Hello, how you doing?
Glad to hear from you.
All right, I'm good. Well, this is my first time listening to the radio station, and let me say, I enjoy it.
Good deal.
Like, and so now, let's see. I'm reading my Bible, and so let's not get religious here, but we must share as a people, as the human race. We have to share and take care of one another.
You would think
and
that.
So, right.
That is what the Bible says. You're right.
Right. And so, and besides that, just listening to the last topic before we got into it, it said righteousness exalted the nation, but the sin is a reproach into any nation, unto any people. And it seems like people have gotten away from that, And when it comes as far as our tax dollars and things like that, we work. I just heard you state that a congressman or a politician makes 187,000
187,000. Right. That's
right. It's a big number. I won't lie. I'm nervous, because I'm on the air and I know I'm live.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I did the math, and we struggle as middle-class citizens to make a living off, let's say, anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 a year. And we work hard. 5, 6, some even 7 days a week.
That's right.
And people sit in offices, the people we trust to take care of us and make the right decisions and to have integrity. And they make at least 12 times as much as we make a year.
Right.
And that's a problem. It's an issue. And basically, I just got on this show to say that because I know people are listening. So. And I don't want people to feel discouraged, but I need people to know that the power is in us as a people.
Right.
Yeah, the leadership is in the mirror. That's what they say.
That's right.
Right on, Gabriel.
Thanks
so much
Gabriel.
for calling
KNON. Good for you. Thanks.
Here's one of the things I know is going to come up in the legislature, and that's the expansion of Medicaid. The federal government has offered to pay for it if they would expand Medicaid, and there's 1.8 million people in Texas, the poorest people, the people who need it the most, would get health care coverage that way if they expanded Medicaid. Now, Governor Rick Perry says he ain't going to do it, and the Texas Observer has an article about it in which they say, I quote, Rick Perry's refusal to expand Texas Medicaid program could result in thousands of deaths.
Oh, easy.
Is that astonishing?
I mean, that's just horrible.
In other words, people don't have any insurance now. The hospitals want this. The hospitals want the expansion of Medicaid because they would like to clear the emergency room. If you get an emergency right now, you get hurt and you go to the emergency room, you're going to be backed up in a long line.
And right now, because of the flu outbreak that we're experiencing, some doctors are actually discouraging people from going to the emergency room because you could actually get sicker.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we've got the norovirus.
There's so many people in there that's got the flu.
There you go. We got the norovirus going around, which is the stomach thing. And now we got the flu. Plus we got some allergy issues going on. Folks, just if we had money in Medicare and Medicaid to take care of the least of us, if you will, we could all be healthier.
They could get the Texas, according to the article in the Texas Observer, the Texas could get $100 billion from the federal government over the next 10 years. So I guess that's $10 billion a year.
Yep.
To work to help with Medicaid. And instead, though, Governor Perry has said he ain't going to touch it, and he's not going near it. He is dead set against it. And since he has veto power, that's a pretty strong statement. Yep. So people are taking the petitions. I've been collecting petitions on this for 3 or 4 months now.
Yep. And
you can get, by the way, you can find my petition at TexasRetiredAmericans.org. That's one of the websites that I operate, TexasRetiredAmericans.org. And you can sign a petition online, or if you happen to come to one of my talks, I usually bring a clipboard with something to sign for the Medicare issue.
I've got one.
I'm not the only one working on it. Top is working on it.
You bet.
Texas Organizing Project.
I've got one at the Union Hall. I've got sitting out in the lobby, and
TOP has already had 2 rallies about it.
Yeah,
and
I'm very pleased.
The Dallas area interfaith, the religious people,
right.
They're dead set on changing this.
We have to.
And the newspaper announced about 2 weeks ago. They said, "Aha! The Dallas area interfaith is taking up this issue," which is a very good thing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I tried to get them on the program, and they were not interested.
Come?
Yeah, well, they said maybe later some other person or something like that. But I was going to have TOP and the Dallas area interfaith come on and talk about it. But I found out since then that there's people with money that want to get this, want to get the expansion of Medicaid. The people that operate the hospitals and the nurses and the doctors, they all want to get it because they know that there's the emergency care system is not working, because you go in emergency care and you might have to stand on the sidewalk. I mean, the chairs are all filled with people that don't have health care. Texas is the worst state in the union, both in total number and in percentage of people who don't have health care insurance.
Thank you, Governor Perry.
So they fill up our emergency rooms, and you can hardly, if you didn't get shot through the head or through the heart, you're going to have to wait.
You're going to wait.
When you go to the emergency room. And you could have your child sitting there coughing up blood all night long while you wait in the emergency room.
It's horrible.
To try to get care. And it ain't their fault.
No, it's not.
I'll tell you whose fault it is right now. It's Governor Rick Perry's fault, because he could get the expansion of Medicaid, get health care coverage for those people, and they could go to the doctor and get taken care of.
That's right. And not be in the emergency room, leaving emergency rooms for what they are for, emergencies.
That is one of the things that is going to come up, the expansion of Medicaid. Another one that I am worried sick about is public workers' pensions. And it's not just because of Texas. Now, see, public workers in Texas don't have any rights to begin with.
They don't have any collective bargaining rights.
No, they can't. They cannot bargain a
labor agreement. That's
like,
right.
If you happen to be a union member, like in my union, UAW 848, we bargain our contracts.
That's right.
And people vote on them. And you're getting a contract now in the communication workers.
That's right.
Bonnie is, and she's going to vote on that.
No, I'm not.
But if you're a public employee in Texas, you will not get to vote on the contracts.
That's right.
And
they make it up.
The law.
That's the law. That's the law in Texas.
That's what they just took away from them in Wisconsin and in other states,
Michigan,
where the Republicans
Indiana.
are in charge of states.
That's right.
They are taking away the right to bargain in places where they have it.
Who would have ever thought that Michigan, where the home of the automobile, would become a right-to-work state?
Yeah, and they just did that out of meanness, too.
They did.
They did it as a pure meanness. But anyway, the public workers, the reason that they're taking away the rights of public workers all over the country is because they want to take away their pensions.
That's right.
They got a little bit of money piled up in their pension fund, a few $1 million there, and the other politicians are saying, hey, we could get that.
We could use that.
We could get that and spend it in my home district, or maybe get a little bit of it in my own pocket through corruption.
And let's just screw these people that want to retire.
So they want to take away people's pensions, and that is going to be a major issue for me and the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans as we go into this legislative session, which just started last Tuesday.
Yes.
So fear and tremble, Texas. Your legislature is in session. We'll be right back.
Tell you all a story that's close to
Recycle Revolution is a local recycling collection service and community drop-off center. They collect and accept all traditional recyclables, including paper, plastic, aluminum, cardboard, and glass, as well as materials like TVs, computers, lamps, light bulbs, batteries, ballast, and styrofoam. They offer collection services to apartments, condos, and businesses. They also offer a community drop-off located at 1703 Chestnut Street in Dallas. For more information, 214-566-3025 or recyclerevolutiondallas.com.
Want to hear some great Texas blues? KNON has the CD for you. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, our latest blues compilation CD to benefit community radio, sponsored by Forever Young Records. This CD features 15 tracks and 60 minutes of great original Dallas-Fort Worth blues from Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, Johnny Red and the Roosters, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, the Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone and Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ash Kicking Machine, Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, and JJ and the Detonators. We're only selling 1,000 copies, and it will never be reissued. Get your copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Recordtown in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records and Rewind Music. The CD is available as an MP3 download at KNON.org. All proceeds benefit Community Radio, KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit us at KNON.org. Get your copy now and hear some real Texas blues. Your ears will thank you for it.
I wake up in the morning at 4:45. The alarm clock is relentless.
For goodness sake alive. You can call us at 972-647-1893, and Ariel already has. Good morning, Ariel. Thanks for calling KNON.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You are great. You sound really clear. The whole world is listening.
Okay. I have a question, and I thank God for me listening to y'all this morning. Okay, the problem I have is I've been in Texas like 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I was born here, raised here. But the problem I have is now I'm totally disabled, okay?
Uh-oh.
My diagnosis is seizures and degenerative disc disease.
Mm-hmm.
And for 2 years now, because I'm on Medicaid, but in Denton County and Dallas County, they had it where you have to go. You can't get traditional Medicaid. You can only get Amerigroup, or it's this other one with an S. I can't think of it right now.
They privatized it. They meant you had.
Yeah,
so
the HMO, PPO, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I have not had medication in 2 years for my seizures because there are no doctors that will take the Amerigroup, the special clinics, or what I mean, the special PPOs, whatever they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, who do you talk to about this? You know, what do you do? Okay, because it's like what y'all were saying a while ago. Okay, it's like you middle class, you're poor, then you just stuck out.
Yeah.
I'm having to pay for medication. I'm living off of $556 a month SSI.
Oh, man.
And having to pay the medication
and
out of
I've
that.
got rent to come out of that. And because I couldn't get to the doctor on time, I got me a vehicle. So that's $300.
Uh-huh.
So you see what I'm living with.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I can't, I mean, I love my primary care doctor. And they've tried to find me a neurologist. If they find me one, it's way out somewhere in Garland.
Yeah.
And then they may or may not take it when I get there. So,
Yeah.
you know, I've
live
wasted
inside-
somebody's gas getting me to the doctor.
You live inside Dallas?
You live
I live in Carrollton. And, I used to be in Dallas County. I'm in Denton County now.
So you're in Carrollton, and you have to drive all the way to Garland.
And then not know if they're going to accept your insurance once you get there. You
Right,
know, it's-
right. Because, see, they'll tell my primary care doctor that they accept Amerigroup.
Right. Then you get there and they say, oh, no, we don't take that.
Right, right. And, you know, so I have been 2 years without any seizure medication. And my primary care doctor can't do that. She, you know, they only can do so much.
Right.
They make sure I have the stuff for my spasms, my pain medication.
Yeah.
But when they refer me out, there's nobody, what they call them, specialists or
Right.
whatever,
Yes, ma'am.
that will accept it. And I'm like, okay, who do I write a letter to? Perry?
Yeah.
The president? Or who?
Well,
know?
I'd start
You
with
know?
your Texas legislators. Find out who represents you in Austin.
Okay.
And call
'Cause I'm
their
about ready to go
offices.
walk to Austin because, you know, I have to suffer every night with headache, and it's also affecting my memory.
Oh, man.
So, you know, I may know you this morning, and I might not know you this evening or tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. And you know, it's a horrible. I have a friend in Austin who's dealing with a very similar circumstance. Her insurance has now stopped covering one of her prescription drugs, and it's going to cost her $200 a month. And this is one of the drugs that allows her to live.
That's the same problem I'm having.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to have the Mobic, but they was paying for it, then all of a sudden they stopped paying for it.
Yeah.
Ariel, can you get online? Like at the library or
I can go
something?
to a library. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, would you mind emailing me and let me know how to reach you, and let me look into this. There ought to be somebody that we can take these medical complaints to. I don't know who it is.
I don't either. I mean, we're going to have to...
I don't either, because I would have been done this. I mean, I was to the point to where I'm ready to leave Texas.
Well,
you know, but I'm trying to get in school here, and I'm gotten in finally. No thanks to other issues going on. So, but it's just, I don't know if it's just Texas or what.
Next time you get a chance to go online, go to labordallas.org. That's my website, and hit contact us, and I'll get your email. labordallas.org. It's all one word, labordallas.org. And let us look further into this, because you know, it might be a EOE or somebody. There needs to be somebody that you can take a complaint about medical mistreatment. And I can't think who it is. There's one for, you know, mistreatment on the job, you know, and
senior
different
abuse.
kinds of age discrimination or something like that, race discrimination, women's discrimination.
Too,
but
because they wouldn't accept what my limitations are. So. I got a lot of issues.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I really appreciate your calling, Ariel.
Okay. Well, I will give you I will email you and let you know information. Thank y'all so much for this program, and thank y'all for being there for the public.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ariel. LaborDallas.org is my personal website, and well, it's where I put all the job of justice stuff. And the billboard is down. If you saw that billboard out in East Dallas that said LaborDallas.org, well, I couldn't afford to keep it up. It was $1,000 a week, so that just lasted till Wednesday. So. What I was trying to get people to organize around the fight against austerity, which is, in other words, all these cuts that they're making. But things are already bad enough. Ariel don't need no cuts. She's already been forced into poverty, and she's already facing an impossible situation. Now, if somebody knows, what do you complain to when your issue is basically that they're trying to kill you? That you can't get your medicine, that you cannot get coverage, and you cannot get taken care of. You can't get to go to the doctor or anything like that. I know what Rick Perry would say. He'd say, "Oh, well, go to the emergency room."
That's his answer for everything.
Because they've already.
I stopped going to the emergency room because now they don't pay it. I've got bills from the emergency room, so I quit going. I just sit here and deal with the headache and the pain.
Well, that is terrible, Ariel.
Yes,
I know you can go to the emergency room whether they send you a bill or not.
Right.
That's the law. But the emergency room is so hard to get any kind of treatment or any kind of help that and it's getting worse. And it's going to continue to get worse unless they take these federal dollars. Now, President Obama, I think you will agree, is trying to solve the health care problem in America, and some of it is getting solved. But it's not going to reach you in Texas because Governor Perry is flatly against getting Medicaid. And
I don't know who reelected him, because I didn't.
Me neither, girl. Me neither. I know neither one of us had a hand in that.
Yeah, we can talk about Rick Perry all day. But Ariel, if you would be willing, I know that we're going to go to Austin on February the 12th. Texas Alliance for Retired Americans is going to organize a bus. We're going to take a bus to Austin for February the 12th, whether there's anybody on it or not. We are raising the money for it, and we're going to take a bus. It's going to be a free trip for anybody who wants to go, and we are going to go to Austin and complain about this Medicare situation. It's called Senior Lobby Day. There'll be a lot of seniors down there on February the 12th, and I'll be working on that between now and then. If you'd be willing to go with us, or if you could possibly get to go with us, then we could maybe highlight your situation. I don't know how to solve problems, but I know how to call reporters, and that's one thing that I have noticed in all of my experience. In all the last 40 years in which I have been working to try to right wrongs and discomfort the comforted and all that, I have noticed that the cockroaches do not like the light. The cockroaches do not want to know about Ariel, and if we can get the word out about Ariel, maybe we can get some kind of solace or some kind of help for her and the millions of people that must be just like her.
Right.
The millions I'm talking about right here in Texas because I know 1.8 million could get health care coverage, and that would include you if they would expand Medicare. But they're trying not to do it.
Yeah, Governor Fancy Hair doesn't want that money.
Governor Goodhair doesn't want to do it. Thank you so much for calling KNON, Ariel, and other people can call us at 972-647-1893. Now, while we're talking about Governor Perry, Bonnie, now I don't want to step on your toes if you like the man or something.
Have you lost your mind?
But so if I thought you liked Governor Perry, I would have lost my mind.
Yes, you would have.
Governor Perry was making a speech to a right-wing organization called the Texas Public Policy Foundation, and he was talking about the sacred image of the Alamo, and he gave a glimpse into his vision of the coming legislative session, and he said, I quote, "I will suggest to you that you can ride into infamy with the decisions that you will make." Ride into infamy?
Who does he think he is?
That is exactly what they're doing, is riding into infamy. Infamy is bad. It's not something good. I think he meant ride into fame. You know, or maybe he said ride away from infamy.
Well, he is an
like that. But he actually said, I will suggest to you that you can ride into infamy with the decision that you will make. Now, join me, brothers and sisters, in this. We have got to keep this quiet. We've got to keep this from getting out, because as you already know, Governor Perry has embarrassed Texas around the world over and over again, saying stupid things in public. So we have got to keep this one quiet. I'm going to ask Jim Schutz when he comes in, do not mention what an idiot our governor is, and try to keep this quiet before everybody finds out.
We don't want anybody to know.
And they also said, I get this from Ed Sills, you know, the communications director for the Texas AFL-CIO.
I love it. I just signed up for his emails, his daily emails.
You need to get those. It's ed at aflco.org.
Yep, they're great.
And Ed provides us information that is very, very important all year round. But when the legislature is meeting, you just have to have it. It's the only way you're going to find out what's happening to working people in the legislature is to get on Ed Sills' news service, and it's ed at texasaflcio.org. But here's what he said. They have a poll now about who is the most popular candidates for the Republicans in the coming election, because the Republicans expect to win the next presidential race
in 2016.
In 2016, so they rated the candidates already, and they say Perry is on the rise. He is not as low as he used to be down on the list. He is now up to 2%.
How quickly we forget.
Well, he's like 13th out of 13 or 14, something like that.
Okay, so he's on the rise.
Yeah, the top one's got something like 26%.
And who is the top person?
I don't remember. Somebody's not in Texas.
Of course.
But Rick Perry is up to 2%.
Wow.
So, and one thing that's going to hurt Rick Perry is this cancer fund. Because the cancer fund was handing out money to people who donated money to Rick Perry. They set up the cancer fund. It was supposed to be the top of the line research center for cancer. It's right CPRIT, and I don't remember what that stands for.
I don't either.
But the top scientists, who were making a pretty good chunk by themselves, you know, they resigned because they were passing out money without even having a scientists look at it.
There you go.
They were just handing out money, and who did they hand it out to? People who donated money to Rick Perry.
Isn't that nice?
Well, and also to David Dewhurst, the lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the governor, it was also the lieutenant governor. But they were handing out money to them, they're making big donations to them, and they got big, millions and millions. You know, they give, maybe they give $50,000 to Rick Perry, and that sounds like a lot of money. But then they would get several million from this cancer fund that Rick Perry and David Dewhurst have all the appointments.
Isn't this have some? Don't we have another thing too, which was the technological?
Technological. It was supposed to be helping with cancer, but
but there's another one for technology development.
Oh yeah,
and
there's one that he controls that's on technology, and then there's another one that he controls that's just hands out money to corporations. But anyway, Rick Perry thinks all this is his money, and the rainy day fund too. He don't want none of it to go to the Texas school children, that's for sure. He's been asked over and over again, would you spend some of this money on Texas school children? And he says, no way. So Governor Perry has cleared up this business about why the cancer research thing is not working. He says it was never supposed to be research for cancer to begin with. He says, and I quote, that the purpose was to, and I quote, create wealth. And it's doing that, so I guess it's successful.
Is it creating any jobs or anything?
It's creating wealth for people who donate to Rick Perry.
Oh.
They are getting all kinds of your tax money from the cancer's CPRIT.
So does that mean that if I gave Rick Perry some money, then he would give me some money? You think?
If you gave him enough.
I'm just wondering.
If you gave him enough.
Oh, I see. So if I just gave him
at
a
your
couple
level,
bucks,
I don't know how much you would get from the Cancer Society.
Well, see,
but one
there
of the
you go.
guys who gets a lot of money from the Rick Perry, from the things that Rick Perry and David Dewhurst control, which is they make the appointments for almost all these appointed officials. And one of the guys that gets it lives here in Dallas and is getting very, very wealthy. He controls waste management.
Oh, yeah.
And waste management is the ones that introduced the idea of letting the states of the United States dump their nuclear waste in West Texas. And he got this through the Texas legislature, and the Texas legislature has allowed Texas to become the cesspool for nuclear waste out in West Texas. And the guy here lives here in Dallas in waste management has been making millions on it. Yeah.
Well,
and
Bob,
he only gave a few 10,000s, maybe 100,000 or something like that.
Well, look at Bob Perry, no relation to Rick.
Yeah,
he's a builder. He's a home builder in the Austin area. He has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to both Rick and Dewhurst.
He was a major financier for Rick Perry's presidential
campaign. Boy, that worked out well for him, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what embarrassed Texas so bad. But there are good things to talk about. I'm sorry. One time a guy called and said that he listened to this program because it was the darkest hour on the radio.
Trying to keep it upbeat.
That kills me. The darkest hour on the radio. Well, the fact is, if bad things are going on and you don't tell,
need to know.
If you don't tell, and you're liable.
You got your head.
If somebody's
in the
got a gun pointed to your head and you know it, somebody ought to say something. So we do. We do. And I just want to bring up real quickly before we end, please, AT&T Core employees who are represented by CWA Local 6215, your contract explanation meetings are Monday morning at 10 a.m. at 1408 North Washington, the Union Hall. Yeah.
And 6:30 p.m. Monday night, y'all.
That's for Local 6215.
Local
That's
6215. That's right.
Now, 6201 is in Fort Worth, and I'm sure they're holding meetings too. But
yes, I don't know what their dates are. Right, but call your Union Hall and find out.
On the good side, if you're a member of the Texas AFL-CIO, in other words, if your union is affiliated with the Texas AFL-CIO, you can get a scholarship for your kids that are graduating high school. It's a $1,000 scholarship, and believe me, they need every penny they can get if they want to go to college nowadays. You can, if your union is a member of the Texas AFL-CIO, call 214-826-4808. That's the Texas AFL-CIO, and get an application. Now, the CWA, your union, Bonnie, is handling some scholarships called the Joseph Burns Scholarship.
Yes, sir.
These are $3,000. Then you have to call the CWA in order to get an application, but you have to be a member, or it's your child or your grandchild.
That's right.
Can be just graduating high school. They can get one of these $3,000 scholarships, but they have to go through a process. It's kind of hard.
It's really cool, though.
The final deadline for that one is April 30th. Now, the one for the Texas AFL-CIO is January 31st. Right. So you better hurry if you're going to get that one.
One of my members from Yellow Pages, his daughter actually won one of the scholarships from AFL-CIO.
Yeah, we've had members of my union have won those scholarships too.
Very nice.
So if you want the scholarship from the communication workers, here's the number: 214-826-6215. That's in Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't know the number for the one in Fort Worth. That's a big local too. But it's 214-826-6215 for Dallas.
And you call that number, we can get you over to Fort Worth.
And if you qualify for an AFL-CIO scholarship, this is only $1,000, and you have to really jump through hoops to get it.
You do.
But the number for that is 214-826-4808. Those are good things.
Very good things.
Let's continue the fight, brothers and sisters, and we will hurry back next week to talk more about what is going on for workers on the Workers Beat program.
See y'all Monday, all you AT&T folks.
Got to get Jim Schutz up here to explain all of this.
Right. All right, folks. See you next week.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.